Yo, is it going data bytes? Says no data here. Welcome back to another video of Roblox Assassin, and it is yet another Roblox Assassin story, guys. We are talking about another story, and this is about one of the biggest updates in Roblox Assassin. So we're going to be talking about this big update, you know, what happened before, what happened during, what happened after, and like how it affected Assassin and like my inventory, like what I was going through at the time and stuff like that. So, you know, I've done an Assassin story video on the R15 update. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it right there in the top right corner. But, yeah, guys, I decided to make more videos about these updates, alright? I want to talk about the updates that have happened in the past and, like, what I was experiencing during that time. So, if you guys have any other ideas, like, there's plenty of updates to choose from, except a lot of them really aren't that big. So, I feel like this is going to be, like, the biggest story because it's the biggest update. But, like, we could, in theory, I could talk about the Elemental update, but not much really happened for that one. So, like, if you guys have any updates that, like, you guys want me to talk about, like, updates that have previously happened, and, like, you want me to talk about it, be sure to leave some ideas in the comments below. And if I like your idea, I might make a video on it, and maybe I will shout you out if you're being really unique. But, yeah, guys, today we are talking about the big February 2017 update. This is probably the biggest update to ever happen in Roblox Assassin ever. Like, hands down, it's probably the biggest update to ever happen. 4 new mythics, Spider, Dark Horse, Frizendo, and Rainbow Seer. So 4 new mythics, a new case with a new exotic, which was Lava Blade, a new lobby, and 2 new maps. So it was pretty insane, honestly. So yeah, we are going to talk about what was going on before the update, because there was a lot of anticipation for this update. There was a lot of speculation, anticipation, etc. So we can talk about what happened before, and like what happened during and what happened after. So, the big mythic update. We knew about it for a long time. I'd say like maybe a couple weeks before it actually happened. Maybe like a month before it actually happened. I'm not quite sure. Again, it was a while ago. But we did know about a lot of knives beforehand. In the old value list by Nubix. This is an old value list. It is dead and inaccurate. You shouldn't use it, but I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. But you really shouldn't use it for values at all because it is dead. Like, it doesn't update anymore, and it just isn't accurate at all. Like, wind elemental's only worth like 8 exotics. So I'll leave a link in the description, but you know, it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, at the time, that was a very accepted value list. That value list was good. Pretty much everybody accepted it. Basically, part of the value list was leaks. It was able to leak different knives. And I think Zikoi's value list had leaks too for a while, but it was removed. I guess he's an admin now, so we can't leak knives. But in that value list, believe it or not, Rainbow Seer and Frizendo were actually leaked a long time ago before the big mythic update and the new lobby and etc. actually happened. So we knew about these knives long before the update came out. Now, obviously, we never knew exactly what would come out, but we felt like we knew Rainbow Seer especially would come out because, like, it's a rainbow version of Overseer. We kind of could tell that would come out. And Frizendo, it was called Frost Crescendo in the leaks because we didn't know what the name was called. Frizendo is a dumb name for it, by the way. It should be like Diminuendo or something music related, because if you don't know, crescendo is actually a music word, and like it means gradually louder. I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole can of worms, but we called it Frost Crescendo at the time because we didn't know the name, and we thought that maybe it would come in the update, but we weren't quite sure. But we all kind of had a feeling, or like everybody who checked the value list at least, we all kind of had a feeling that Rainbow Seer would be in the update, and we were correct. You know, I was pretty freaking certain that Rainbow Seer would be in the update. So, like, I would always tell my friends, hey, be sure to, like, hold on to a Seer, because, you know, Rainbow Seer might be added, and you'll be, like, one of the first people to get it. So, yeah, I was right about Rainbow Seer actually coming in, but what I didn't expect was how difficult it was to craft it, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So, you know, largely anticipated update, alright? A lot going on, you know, everybody's waiting for it. And we had like an exact date. Actually, I don't think we had an exact date, but we were kind of able to figure out when it would actually happen. I remember it was on a Friday. Like, we were all just waiting for Friday. Yeah, I don't think there was an exact release, but it was like largely hinted that it would come out on that Friday. Some Friday in February 2017. I'm not quite sure when. Again, it was a long time ago. But yeah, we were all waiting for it. We knew Rainbow Seer was coming out. Pretty much everybody thought, you know, it was kind of common sense. Well, not everybody, but like people who saw the leaks. Frost Crescendo, that was also a possibility. I didn't hear about Dark Horse until the very last day before the update. Like one day before the update, somebody told me about this dark unicorn, and they said, "Oh, be sure to keep a unicorn because there's going to be a dark unicorn." I was like, "What? A dark unicorn? I never heard about that before." And nobody really expected Spider. I never heard anything about Spider whatsoever until the update actually happened. So yeah, a lot of build up. I had my inventory prepared. You know, I was ready to, you know, I had a seer and I was ready and stuff. And the update happened and it was pretty insane. Again, 4 new mythics, new exotic, new lobby, 2 new maps. The emotes were removed. I didn't include that. The emotes were actually removed. The sit emote and the flip emote, and they were refunded. So if you bought them, you actually got the tokens back for it, which was pretty cool. I never bought the flip emote. I just didn't bother spending my money on that, but I did have the sit emote, and that was refunded for 500 tokens, I believe. So it was pretty nice to have that nice 500 tokens right when the update started. It's like a little tip, I don't know. And what was also like really cool about the update is that some of the crafting recipes, specifically Freezendo and Dark Horse, believe it or not, they were actually hidden back in the day. They were hidden for a very long time. And basically, in the crafting like recipes, it showed them and it just had question marks. So Prisman basically said, yep, you can craft these mythics now, but you have to figure it out yourselves. So a lot of people were like scrambling and just experimenting on like how to craft these knives, and I think that's really cool. I feel like Prisman should do that again, because yeah, it only lasts like a day. After like a day, usually somebody figures out how to craft it after like a day or two, but it is still pretty freaking cool to like have that like mystery to it. Like, you can craft this but you don't know what it is yet, and it's like a pretty interesting challenge to just put stuff together and like see what works and what doesn't. I feel like that's really interesting, and I bet it is super satisfying to figure it out yourself. But you know, for Freezendo and Dark Horse, I definitely had to look up both of them. I knew that for sure. There's no way I'd be able to figure out those crafting recipes myself, but I really feel like Prisman should do that again, because that was really interesting, and I enjoyed that. And I guess when the Dreamwalker update happened, like if you check that video, again, top right corner, if you check that out, like the crafting recipe wasn't there, because usually when like a new update happens, knives don't load immediately. So I guess that was sort of a mystery, but like it wasn't the same, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was hands down the biggest update to ever happen in Roblox Assassin. I would definitely say that it has changed Roblox Assassin forever, because the lobby before that was like much different. Like ever since then, we've had like a city lobby. So yeah, obviously the city lobby has changed over time. I'd say the city lobby we have now is definitely the best out of the 3 lobbies. But you know, the lobby that I joined Roblox Assassin with, that's still my favorite lobby ever. We call it the Sky Lobby. That's still my favorite lobby in Roblox Assassin. It's probably never going to change. I guess nostalgia, I really don't know. But yeah, it was pretty insane. Like, everybody was freaking out over the new mythics. Lava Blade was high in demand. You know, kind of shocking to think that a year ago, people actually wanted Lava Blade. And that was the day that Gilded became trash. Yep, ever since that update, Gilded became trash. It's not trash anymore, actually, because of Striker. Gilded is actually a decently good exotic now, but once that update happened, the day it happened, Gilded got thrown in the garbage, and it was like that until Striker. And I always call that update, for my inventory at least, I always called it the Dark Ages of assassin because of my inventory. Really, I actually lost a lot of profit. I'm going to get into that. I'm not saying it was like bad or anything. I had a lot of fun playing. It's not like I didn't have a good time or anything, but I did lose a lot of profit in the long run. So, you know, I knew Rainbow Seer was going to come in assassin. That kind of seemed like common sense. What I didn't know was how hard it was going to be to craft. Honestly, I thought Rainbow Seer was going to be like an exotic, right? And it would kind of be like unicorn, right? You would take a seer and a rainbow knife and you'd call it a day. You'd have a rainbow seer. But nope, it is freaking 3 unicorns and 6 seers. And at the time, you know, I wasn't super duper rich at the time. So having that hard of a crafting recipe was pretty freaking shocking, you know? So naturally, I worked really hard to get all those mythics. And I definitely succeeded, to say the least. But I definitely made a lot of bad trades in the process. Now, you see, before this update actually happened, the value list remained relatively stagnant, alright? It didn't change or anything. It was just any exotic you can unbox was worth 1, any unobtainable exotics was worth 2, Krampus was worth 3, Holiday Save was worth 2 actually, so yeah. Any unobtainable exotics plus Holiday Save was worth 2, Krampus was worth 3, Ice Ancient was worth 4, Skeleton King was worth 5, and Corrupted Axe was worth 6 exotics. That was the whole value list. That was the whole value list, because there weren't nearly as many knives as there are now. Like, it's completely changed now. But yeah, like, those were the rules of the value list. That's what it was. No values really changed in any way, shape, or form. And definitely one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from this update, because again, the value list remained stagnant, so I really didn't know I didn't really understand the concept of value changes, because again, the value list didn't change. So I had yet to learn, like, economic principles and, like, how values change. So probably one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from this update was, just because you make a trade and you're making profit from that trade doesn't necessarily mean you're making profit in the long run. As a matter of fact, you could be losing a lot of profit. Now, I want you guys to picture a trade, alright? You're gonna yell at me. You're gonna yell at me for this trade, alright? You're gonna be really angry at me, but I need you guys to, like, bear with me here. So, imagine trading a corrupted axe, right? A corrupted axe for a spider. Alright? A corrupted axe for a spider. Now, I know what you say. You're going to type in the comments like, no data, are you crazy? Why would you ever do that trade? Are you a freaking idiot or something? Corrupted axe is worth like 24, 25 exotics, and spiders are like 5. Why would you ever do that trade? Well, again, it was technically speaking, a good trade at the time, because once this update came out, Corrupted Axe was only worth like 6 exotics, right? And Spider was a new exotic. It was super high in demand. At one point, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, at one point, Spider was actually the best knife in the game. Spider was the best knife. It was worth 13 exotics according to the value list. So yeah, Rainbow Seer was worth like 12. Spider was actually worth 13. And Corrupted Axe was worth 6. So again, because I didn't really know value changes, I was like, oh, this is worth 6, Spider's worth 13. So it's got to be a good trade. So yeah, I probably did that multiple times actually. I probably traded multiple Corrupted Axes for multiple spiders, thinking that I was actually making profit, but I actually wasn't. I also traded a lot of unattainable knives for Unicorn, because Unicorn is a really good crafting knife. You use it to craft Rainbow Seer and Dark Horse. So I remember trading a lot of things like Flame Mace, Bat Scythe, Electro Saw. I probably gave up Possessed Axe at some point for Unicorns, because those were technically equal. Because again, at the time, those unobtainable knives were only worth like 2 exotics. So a Flame Mace and a Unicorn were actually equal back then. And Unicorn was much higher in demand, so Unicorn was actually worth 2. Now it's kind of up for debate. It's kind of in between 1 and 2, because you gotta use Dark Blade and add something else to make another exotic, and it's kind of debatable at the moment. So yeah, then eventually I just ended up having a bunch of mythics and like no exotics at all, and I kind of felt like crap, not gonna lie. At that point I kind of felt like crap. I was like, why am I so sad that I've lost all of my exotics? So then I kind of started working to get some exotics back. I think I might have traded a couple of spiders, but you know, it's whatever. You know, I started getting exotics back, and you know, I kind of learned the concept of value changes. I lost a lot of profit, but it is what it is. You know, I've learned my lesson. You know, live and learn, as they say. But yeah, guys, if you want to learn anything from this story, basically, again, just because you're making a trade and it's technically good now doesn't mean it's going to be worth. It doesn't mean it's going to be worth it in the future. And if you do have a new knife, what I always like to recommend is to make an investment. What an investment is basically you're making a trade that is bad for you now, but is going to be good in the future. And when I traded a corrupted axe for a spider, that's what the other traders were doing. When they traded their spiders for a corrupted axe, that was an investment, alright? They were trading something, they were trading a knife that was pretty much half the value of what they were trading, but they were making profit in the long run. They were doing a bad trade for themselves. Then, back in the day, back a year ago, when the update took place, it was a bad trade for them then, but it's a really good trade for them now, because they made a lot of freaking profit off of that one little spider. So yeah, that's basically an investment. That's what I call it. So like when I do a bad trade that's like bad for me now but good in the future, I call it an investment. And that's kind of just my term for it. That's just what I call it. I call it investment. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what it's called, but, you know, I'm trying to give you guys advice as to how to make profit in Assassin and, like, other games like Assassin, like Murder Mystery X, Murder Mystery 2, stuff like that. But, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those other things YouTube people do. I really hope you guys enjoyed this Roblox Assassin story. And, you know, if you guys want me to talk about other updates, be sure to leave suggestions in the comments. If you guys really want me to do the elemental update, I will. But really not much happened, because, again, I have bad luck. So I can't really unbox those mythics. I've never unboxed an elemental, actually. So, like, that update kind of happened and not much really happened. So, yeah, I mean, I'll make a video if you guys really want me to, but there's not going to be much to talk about. It's definitely going to be a lot shorter than this video. But, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all of the other things that YouTube people do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Toodles!